The New Testament is a historical account of the beginning of Christianity. It includes the life, death, and resurrection of Jesus and the ministry of the Apostle Paul, amongst other events. Today, we will practice our Espanol while we look at a couple of phrases about Jesus and the Apostle Paul. Greetings, my amigos, and welcome to Missionali. My name is Roberto, and this is where we learn Spanish through the Bible. Now, if you haven't already done so, please like, subscribe, and share this video with others. So now, my amigos, let's begin. Los cuatro evangelios describen la vida, el ministerio, la muerte y la resurrección de Jesús. Los cuatro evangelios means the four gospels. We've had an example like this before where the adjective, cuatro in this case, comes before the noun, evangelios. Now, normally the adjective comes after the noun, as we'll see in our other example today. Just remember, numbers go in front of the noun in Spanish. Evangelios is masculine and plural because of the ending os. And since this is the main noun, the definite article los agrees with it in gender and number. The pronunciation is evangelios, evangelios. Describen comes from the verb describir, which means to describe. Here it's in the plural form, describen, because it's agreeing with evangelios, which is also plural. Now, if you want to make it singular, you simply remove the letter N, and you have describe. For example, el Evangelio de Mateo describe. Here, Evangelio is singular, so describe must be as well. Make sense? Muy bien. For describen, put the emphasis on the second syllable. Describen, describen. La vida, el ministerio, mean the life, the ministry. Now, in English, you can get away with not using the definite article the before ministry because it's understood with the one used before life. Plus, I think it would sound a little bit redundant. Now, in Spanish, vida uses la. In ministerio uses el. They're different genders, so they require different articles. Claro, clear. For ministerio, emphasize the te. Ministerio, ministerio. Let's repeat what we have so far. Los cuatro evangelios describen la vida, el ministerio. As I mentioned in other videos, the majority of the time, a singular noun that ends with a consonant takes the masculine definite article el. But as always, there are exceptions, and here we have two of them. La muerte y la resurrección mean the death and resurrection. Again, the definite article la is used both times since it's rare that a Spanish noun is used alone, even if they're both feminine nouns. In English, you don't necessarily need to use the definite articles. Let's go over the pronunciation. Muerte needs to emphasize the er. Muerte, muerte. Now a little faster. Muerte. Resurrección is a little trickier. Now note that there's an accent on the letter O, so that's where the emphasis of pronunciation is located. Also, you have two different trills of the R, one at the beginning of the word and the other at the double R. Resurrección, resurrección. A little faster. Resurrección. I know that's a challenge, but keep at it, amigos. De Jesús means of Jesus. For Jesús, emphasize the letter U. Jesús, Jesús. Now, let's repeat our whole sentence. Los cuatro evangelios describen la vida, el ministerio, la muerte y la resurrección de Jesús. El Nuevo Testamento contiene los cuatro viajes misioneros y las 13 epístolas de San Pablo. Let's break this down. El Nuevo Testamento means the New Testament. We've gone over the pronunciation of testamento in another video, so let me focus on nuevo. The emphasis is on the E. Nuevo, nuevo. Remember, the V in Spanish typically is pronounced like a B sound. Also, since nuevo and testamento both end in O, masculine singular words, the definite article el is used to agree with them. Contiene los cuatro viajes misioneros. means contains the 4 missionary trips or journeys. Contiene is from the verb contener and means to contain. Here it's in the third person singular because it agrees with testamento. Now, be careful with the pronunciation. Contiene, contiene. A little faster. Contiene. As we saw in the previous example, when a number is used as an adjective, cuatro in this case, it precedes the main noun, viajes. So here we have cuatro viajes, 4 trips or journeys. Also from previous videos, we learned that when strong vowels, A, E, and O, are next to weak vowels, I and U, they make 1 syllable. But the emphasis needs to be on the strong vowel. In viajes, you see the I and the A together, so the emphasis needs to be on the A. Now, to help with the distinction, let me first mispronounce it, and then I'll give you the correct version. So hopefully you will hear the difference. Incorrect pronunciation. Viajes. Viajes. Now the correct one. Viajes. Viajes. Were you able to hear the difference? Muy bien. Misioneros means missionary, and it is an adjective describing viajes. Viajes is masculine and plural, and again, one of those exceptions since the singular viaje doesn't end with an O. And since this is the case, both misioneros and los agree with it in gender and number, as you see with the ending OS. Now, for pronunciation, make sure to emphasize the NE. Misioneros. Misioneros. Our sentence then is, El Nuevo Testamento contiene los 4 viajes misioneros. Y las 13 epístolas means, and the 13 epistles. There are 2 letters in Spanish with the English double E sound, the letter I and the letter Y when it's by itself, which simply means and. Now, note that epístolas has an accent over the I, so that is where you stress the pronunciation. Epístolas. Epístolas. 13 means 13, and as we've seen before, it is a number describing the quantity of epístolas, so it has to precede the main noun. Epístolas has the ending as, so it is feminine and plural. Therefore, the definite article before it, las, has to agree with it in gender and number. Now, is this starting to make sense, amigos? Muy bien. De San Pablo means of St. Paul. Now, make sure that you don't pronounce san like sand from the word sand or like sun. Open the A up a bit. You know, like when you go to the doctor and she asks you to open your mouth while she checks your throat. Ah. Now, just make it a little quicker. Ah. San. San. Got it? Excelente. Pablo needs to have the emphasis on the very first syllable. Pablo. Pablo. So now let's repeat this part of our sentence. Y las 13 epístolas de San Pablo. Now let's do our entire sentence. El Nuevo Testamento contiene los 4 viajes misioneros y las 13 epístolas de San Pablo. As a final exercise, let's repeat both sentences, one time at a slower speed and one time at a normal conversation speed. Los 4 evangelios describen la vida, el ministerio, la muerte y la resurrección de Jesús. El Nuevo Testamento contiene los 4 viajes misioneros y las 13 epístolas de San Pablo. Now at regular speed. Los 4 evangelios describen la vida, el ministerio, la muerte y la resurrección de Jesús. El Nuevo Testamento contiene los 4 viajes misioneros y las 13 epístolas de San Pablo. Well, mis amigos, I hope that you enjoyed our time together and that these exercises are helping your Spanish to improve. As always, thank you so much for your time, and Lord willing, I will see you in the next video.